In the world of professional golf, it seems that these days, much of the headlines are dominated by reports of the ongoing rivalry taking place between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour. Everyone is constantly wondering who will be the next PGA golf pro to jump ship and head to LIV. So stay tuned and don't go away, because Padraig Harrington is disappointed in Henrik Stenson's LIV Golf decision. First up, has Henrik Stenson's departure to LIV sent shockwaves through Team Europe? You bet. Team Europe is dealing with the fallout from Henrik Stenson's departure to the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League, and it has sent shockwaves throughout the European golf community. Stenson was quickly stripped of his 2023 Ryder Cup captaincy, and when the Cup heads to Rome next year, he'll be noticeably absent. Stenson was vice-captain to Padraig Harrington at the 2021 Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits back in September, and Harrington is very disappointed in Stenson's decision. Harrington said, "Clearly it's unfortunate, the situation that he's not going to continue on as captain. He signed a contract not to do that and was specifically asked not to do that. So yes, I have no empathy there. No, he took the Ryder Cup job when LIV was in doubt, and now that LIV is pretty much mainstream normalized, he's jumped ship." And Stenson isn't the only European golf star to head over to LIV. In fact, he's just one of the many who have left the PGA and DP World Tours for LIV Golf. Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, Paul Casey, and Ian Poulter have also made the jump, chasing the rival league's massive sign-on bonuses that are simply irresistible. Harrington further explained, "Henrik wanted to take something on when LIV looked like it wasn't going to happen, and now that LIV, as we see, is mainstream, pretty close to being mainstream, there's certainly less risk in joining the LIV Tour. He's gone over, which I know it's a financial decision. Clearly, it's financially better to go over to LIV, but sometimes when you sign up for something, you have to accept that you made the decision at the time, and you've got to stick to it. In that sense, he signed to say he wouldn't do it." Next up, is Tiger Woods taking a proactive role in fighting the threat of LIV Golf? You're about to find out. LIV Golf is accusing the PGA Tour of using Tiger Woods to publicly criticize players for joining LIV. The accusations came to light via court documents submitted by 11 LIV Golf players, although Carlos Ortiz subsequently withdrew his name because of an antitrust lawsuit filed against the PGA. In the lawsuit, LIV Golf accused the PGA Tour of getting Tiger to do its dirty work by publicly attacking his fellow golfers. An excerpt from the lawsuit reads, "The tour also got Tiger Woods to do its bidding and publicly criticize golfers, particularly younger golfers, for joining LIV Golf by suggesting they would never play in the Masters, the Open, or other majors and would not earn OWGR points." Tiger has been a harsh critic of the rival league and spoke out against LIV prior to the 150th Open at St. Andrews in July, accusing rebel players who joined LIV of essentially turning their backs on the sport. Tiger didn't mince words and said, "I disagree with those who have gone to LIV. I think they have turned their back on what allowed them to get to this position. Some players have never had a chance to even experience playing on one of the tours. They have gone right from the amateur ranks to that organization and never really had a chance to feel what it is like to play a schedule or play in big events." Tiger also criticized LIV events for blaring music, and he could understand playing 54 holes for the senior tour because the men are older and not as sprightly as they used to be, but he insisted that young players would benefit from the practice they'd get from playing 72 holes. Up next, is a new official world golf ranking system coming into effect? Let's take a look. A new system to determine the official world golf ranking, or OWGR, is coming into effect, and it's creating almost as much controversy as the rival LIV Golf League. The former OWGR system used a strength of field system determined by the players in the top 200 in each tournament. However, from now on, field ratings will be calculated for each tournament, so each player in a field will contribute their performance points, which are then partially determined by the respective player's strokes gained world rating. The world rating calculations are computed on a round-by-round basis over a rolling 2-year period that takes into account the difficulty level of every round. The total field rating will now be the sum total of the performance points and will be equal to the total ranking points distributed at the end of a tournament. But the changes to the OWGR don't end there. A performance curve also coming into effect will reward winning and performance in majors. Players with 10 or fewer recorded scores will be given a value of 0.01 performance points to events, and players with fewer than 50 recorded scores can each provide a maximum of 10% of an event's field rating. The new system will have little immediate impact on the top 50, but critics claim that DP World Tour players will find it far harder to break into the top 50 thanks to the new system. I suppose if players are dissatisfied with the new OWGR, they could make the jump to LIV Golf, right? Because LIV players aren't taken into account in the new official world golf ranking system. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're about to reveal the latest golf news from around the world. Next up, what's happening with the ladies? You're about to find out. 29-year-old 6-time LPGA winner Danielle Kang was diagnosed with a tumor on her spine and now plans to return to the CP Women's Open in Ottawa, Canada in only 2 short weeks. Back in June, Kang revealed at the 77th U.S. Women's Open that she has a tumor tumor on her spine. Kang made the cut at Pine Needles but hasn't played since. Kang had experienced back pain for several months prior to learning about the tumor in late April, and as a result, she withdrew from competition at Palos Verdes Championship, and when asked by reporters if the tumor was benign, replied, "I really don't have the answers now." This is obviously an unnerving period in Kang's life, and she should be commended for having both the mental and physical strength to show up at the CP Women's Open, which will be held from August 25th to the 28th at the Ottawa Hunton Golf Club. For now, Kang's fans are simply happy and excited to see her play in a few weeks. We'd like to wish Kang the best as she continues her attempts at rising up the LPGA ranks, and we hope that she has a speedy recovery. Up next, an LPGA player is about to make Irish fans really proud. Can you guess who? Leona Maguire. Maguire is set to compete in front of Irish fans at an LPGA event for the first time since becoming the first Irish woman to win on tour last February at the LPGA Drive-On Championship. After the historic moment, the President of Ireland personally called Maguire to thank her for her achievements. Maguire, now 27, is the highest-ranked player in the field at the ISPS Handa World Invitational and rose to number 17 after her T4 finish at the AIG Women's British Open. Her win at the AIG Women's British Open is Maguire's best major finish of her entire career. The ISPS Handa World Invitational is a thrilling event that sees female pros playing with male pros, and it's a co-sanctioned event between the LPGA, the DP World Tour, and the Ladies European Tour. 132 men and 132 women will compete in two separate 72-hole stroke play-style tournaments at the Galgorm Castle and Massareem Golf Club in Ballymena, Northern Ireland. The purses aren't too shabby either. $3 million will be split evenly between the men and the women, with one player from each group taking home $1.5 million each. As Maguire was growing up, there weren't any Irish golfers on the LPGA, so she followed Padraig Harrington and Paul McGinley at Irish Opens and Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry later on. In a recent interview, Maguire said, "It's big to have a home event. I think you see with the Lionesses winning last week at Wembley, 89,000 people were there watching that, and that's going to inspire a generation of young girls." Finally, why are golf courses in France starting to look like scorched earth? A terrible drought is currently affecting France, and in addition to farmland, local golf courses are starting to look like barren wastelands. It's not simply a matter of waiting for rain. The French government has taken an aggressive approach to solving the problem by issuing bans on filling swimming pools, washing cars, and even closing public showers on beaches. Not surprisingly, French citizens are not exactly enthused with the bans, but the crisis is hitting golf courses particularly hard in particular, with severe restrictions being placed against golf course owners with respect to watering procedures. For now, only the greens can be watered, and it seems like everything else is dying a slow, hot death. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching.